today, so obviously it's Missouri Star Live. I am Misty Doan, and this is the incomparable Jenny Doan.
Hi,
here
everybody.
with you today. So let's see where we've got people tuning in from. Kathy from East Texas. Oh, Jake is here. Jake. Michael and Mary are back helping run things behind the scenes as well. So
I just need to sit for a minute.
Okay. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Let's see where everybody is here from.
Yeah, we've got Lori from Gainesville, Florida. Linda from Indiana.
Linda's our favorite. She's great.
Oh, Roberta from
got
Bert
Joanna
and
from
Ernie.
Marceline.
From where?
Bert and Ernie.
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but
I know Bert and Ernie. I went on a cruise with them.
you did?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, it was very fun. We ate dinner at their table every night.
Oh, that's
Erica
awesome.
from Cali.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hello, guys.
I miss you.
Idaho.
Wish you went on a cruise with me. They're like my family. So her husband and I ordered exactly the same thing every single night at dinner.
Awesome.
Like exactly.
How funny.
Like he would order and then I'd come in late and they'd be like, what do you want? And I'd say to the T, like even the things like, could you not put that on that? And could you put that on that? And they just sat there like this and smiled at me. And then he'd like get his dinner and it was identical.
That's so fun.
It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is fun.
We've got Sue from York in England. Oh, man, we've got
I'm coming to England, Sue.
Yes.
In September
Rainy
for the
California,
big
that's good
Birmingham Quilt Festival.
That will be awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, who gets to do that? And then somebody
Wait a
pays me to
second.
go there. It's the best.
Yeah.
Our good friend Mason just joined on.
Oh, Mason. Hi, Mason.
Welcome. So I am so excited about this today because this little quilt Jenny made and has had hanging in your house for a while.
Yeah.
And I love it, but it's not a tutorial.
No.
And so this is it's a Missouri Star Live exclusive Jenny tutorial.
Well, let me just tell you about this a little bit.
Yeah.
So I didn't do this as a tutorial just because there were all kinds of house quilts out there. Lots of house quilts. And every time I look at a pattern, I look at it and I go, oh, I could do this so much easier. And I do something easier to it. And so I've looked at half a dozen patterns that are out there of these little houses. And so you don't ever want to be like, oh, I stole this idea.
Right.
But so I'm not going to do a tutorial on it, but I'm happy to show you how I did it because it's, just a little different. Nothing you do is too hard. I mean, any of those patterns are fine. They're great. It's just that different things make sense to different brains. And so when I look at something, it's like, oh no, I would never do my flying geese like that. This makes sense to my brain.
Sure.
Mom, wait a sec. I got to pause you real quick.
Okay, sorry.
You're going to England?
I am going to England.
And you're not taking me?
I think you should go because I think you should film me the whole time. I think it would be an awesome thing.
That makes sense.
we need a video
filmers.
team there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's in August. The first week in August is the show.
Sounds dreamy.
And we're actually going to drive across England and see Scotland.
Oh, man.
I know with your beard, Jake, you could be Scottish.
He would just fit right in.
You could call Misty Love.
I would love that so much.
You don't have to convince me. You do not have to convince me.
We're in. That'd be awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well,
So again, patterns are all over the place. Everybody does it different, and this is just the way I did it because it's what makes sense. Also, this quilt behind me, generally my tutorials are connected to a fabric line.
Yes.
This is obviously not a fabric line.
Yep.
So when I get done with binding, and I have a little piece of this, I have a little basket that I throw my strips in, and then I'm always looking for a little strip project, and this is it's like a memory quilt.
I know, I love it.
With all kinds of things. So I want to point some things out to you.
Yeah, let's get a close-up
before
on
I
this.
show you the things. So when I first did this, one of the very first things I did was I had this Halloween fabric in my basket, and I put this little skeleton guy in there, and I thought he was so cute. And then I was like, wait, I love that there are people looking out my doors. So I went and found some little novelty fabric that had, like, here's a little Eskimo, and there's a little girl on this one, and they're all different designers. There's puppies.
It's so cute.
They're just all around, and it's just one of those things that I find really fun and really entertaining.
It's so whimsical. It's very cute.
It's just fun, and the fun thing about this is that you can have batik fabric right next to red, white, and blue, and nobody dies over that. It's just what I used, so it's kind of a memory, and also, the other thing is, Bonnie Hunter always talks about leaders and enders. So a lot of times you'll start your day with a square because that kind of gets your sewing machine warmed up and it keeps it from, your first block, it keeps it from going down in, and she'll do, I don't know, 4 patches or, something like that. And for me, this was a great get yourself going. So I would just do one of these in the morning, and I felt like I was doing something for myself.
Yeah.
And then when I got to about this many rows, literally, we had a snow day, and literally I was so excited to see this many done, and I'm I was on a roll to finish it. So then I'm house,
so
I was just making them like crazy. So it started out as this relaxing thing where I could, just be I'm just going to do one for me, and it's going to feel better for me, and it's going to be all zen, and then I was on a mission to finish it.
Off.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking about that the other day. One of my favorite things is you make so many quilts for work, but you finish. This woman finishes more quilts.
I do. I am a finisher.
It's amazing. Because we're having this employee quilt show next month, and I'm I've done a lot. I realized I have a bunch of tops that I've just never quilted.
So actually, that's a real thing for me. So I used to do every year our local newspaper, and we, of course, most of us don't have one of those anymore, which is a sign of the times. But I mean, it just, it's like nobody has a handheld paper. But we used to, Kansas City Star did a quilt block every single month. Came out on I think on Sunday, and I don't remember what day it came out, but everybody would rush to get the paper that day, and we'd make the quilt. So I literally would make all those blocks, and some of them were very detailed applique blocks, and I'd make them, and I'd think, at the end of the year, I'd be like, I finished a quilt, and I'd put those blocks in my bin, and in my mind, it was done.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But I still have some of those blocks stacked up, because it's in my mind, they're finished, but they're not really finished. So
I'm glad I'm not alone, because I've got at least 4 tops just sitting off to be quilted.
Well, I wish I had only 4 tops.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Small time.
She's amazing.
Well, what happens, because I do have so many of those, so when we moved studios this last time, my assistant Ruth, she kind of went through and she put projects
Janet says,
in bins.
Get on with it.
Okay.
Sorry, Janet.
Sorry. Anyway,
Listen, Janet, we're talking.
We put projects in those bins, and literally, I probably have 6 of them full of things I want to finish, or I'm going to finish, or I might finish.
Them,
all right. Let's talk about how to do this. Now, since there's no pattern written, because I kind of made up my own, I also love the idea of the tiny house. We're calling this the tiny house, and I just love that. I love tiny houses, and I will never live in a tiny house because I've got too much stuff, but there won't be a pattern written for this. So you're going to have to pay attention to my measurements, and we're going to start with our house sides. So you're going to look through your scraps, and you're going to pick 2 sides that are the same. Now, this is the little house block here that we're talking about, and these are the sides right here. And here's another one.
So cute.
I made a couple just so I remembered. That's the other thing that's fun, is every time you make one, there's a present. This ruler, I love using this ruler for this, because you'll see it makes total sense. And I also use these little Kona mini charm squares. I don't know if you guys know this, but to me this is like my favorite thing ever, because they're little 2.5-inch squares, already cut out.
Ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. So I'll get 2 of those out. So I generally, when I do this, I kind of cut them in stacks, but I'm going to cut one at a time for you today. So we're going to cut our 2 house sides, and I'm going to cut off my little selvage right here. And these are going to be my sides. The house sides are 2 by 3. So I'm going to lay this ruler on here like this at the 3 and over here to the 2. And I literally use this ruler over and over to cut these, because it's just perfect. So 2 by 3.
Awesome.
Then I'm going to cut
this folded, so you've got both pieces there, right?
Yes, I have 2 pieces.
Perfect.
Folded in half. Then I'm going to cut a door. Now, this little door right here has doggies on it.
That's so cute.
So your door is, I've unfolded this, so I just have 1 layer, and I'm going to trim this little edge off right here. And then I'm going to cut, my door is also going to be 3, but it's going to be 1.5. So 1.5 by 3. And I'm going to look through my ruler and make sure I have some good doggies centered on there, because that's going to be peeking through my door. All right. Now, the top of your house, so here's your door like this. The top of your house is also going to have a strip all the way across. So then you're going to have a 1.5 by 4.5. And because this one has the little 1/2 inch on this side, it's real easy to see your 1.5 by 4.5. I'm going to lay that up on the edge. And then I'm just going to cut like this. And then I'm going to come down like this.
So I have to tell you, Mom, everybody says
Am I not closing my rotary cutter often enough?
No, you're doing good.
Oh, okay.
You're doing great. I think it's going awesome. Everybody's loving the quilt, but they're saying that everybody's in agreement that you can't die until all your projects are finished.
Oh,
So
that's
start
true.
lots of projects.
Yeah, so just keep them
Yeah,
up.
so here's the deal, guys. I am going to be around forever.
Forever.
Forever
It's
and
true.
ever. Yeah. All right. So this is the top part that goes across your house. So it's this part right here,
That little
and that's
strip.
1.5 by 4.5, and then you're going to cut your roof, which is 2.5 by 4.5. And so the ruler's 2.5 inches wide. I'm going to set it on the 4.5 inch line right here and cut across here. So this is going to be our roof. And every time I go through and pick these fabrics, I'm just like, oh, that's going to be so cute. All right. So anyway, I didn't mean to talk in such a high voice, but they're like little presents when you get done. I feel the same way about the wonky star quilt.
Oh, I know. Oh, you know I love the wonky
I
stars.
do, and
that's my
but
absolute
it's the same.
favorite.
You finish it, and you just have to look at it a
Yes,
minute and go, "How
yes.
cute that is!" All right, so I just creased my 2.5 inch squares for the corners because I'm going to make this a little rooftop, and it's really going to be a flying geese unit. I'm going to sew one on this side this way. Now, because it's 4.5 and these are 2.5, we're going to have good roof overlap.
Perfect. So you won't lose that peak.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sew down this side like this, and make sure that I'm sewing right on the line. And then I'm just gonna finger press this part back right here. Oh, I almost drooled right there.
Oh, geez.
It's so cute. I was like, sorry guys. I won't do that again, I promise. All right.
Also,
so
I wanted to say, somebody was like, we should put print like people, print your family, and put them in the doorway.
that would
Oh,
be
that would be really
cute.
cute. That'd be really cute. Okay, wait. I started doing this, and this is wrong.
Oh.
I was going to do this really quick, but you actually have to cut this part off, or else you'll have a lot of fabric underneath there. And I don't want to have a lot of fabric. So you trim that off, iron that back. Now we're going to attach this one on this side.
Perfect.
And we're just going to sew right along here. This is also another one of those projects where once you get used to sewing those side-to-side diagonal seams, you won't need to even fold the line because you're
going to get lots of practice in this one, aren't you?
going to get lots of practice. All right.
True.
So I'm just going to press this down. And then one of the things I like to do, because I'm not perfect, is I just want to lay this on here and make sure that this is still 4.5. Or if it's a little bit big or I have a piece sticking up, I can just gently trim that. So, all right. So that's good for my roof. So let's put this together. I'm going to put these two sides on here like this and sew a 1/4 inch seam. You kind of want to make sure your seams are the same, you know. We want to make sure that we're consistent. And then one
They
more.
said after you're done sewing, they want all those measurements one more time.
Oh, we've got it ready for
Okay.
you.
And
Awesome.
I hope maybe they'll even post them.
Oh yeah, Mary is on it. Mary will post it too.
Because I got thinking about that later. If you don't turn it at exactly the right moment, or you didn't hear it, or you didn't have time to write it down, because I talk like a
You want me to press that for you?
fast. Sure.
All right.
So we've got the two sides sewn on the door. Now we're going to add the top of the house like this.
Go.
Sally's got it. Thank you, Sally.
And
Patsy.
now this 1/4 inch on this sewing machine is different than my 1/4 inch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
Each machine's a little different, isn't it?
So this is going to be a smaller house than my house.
That's okay.
So I sew on the Jane, and the Jane is, so look how much difference that is. My Jane's 1/4 inch seam is much smaller. So let me just trim that.
Yeah, I know how those 1/4 inches change.
They really do change. All
My
right, now
dad's a
this guy's
machinist,
going to go
just
up
so you guys
here.
know.
And we're going to put him up here like this. And it looks like he's going to be a little big too.
Darn.
You know what I bet it is this is a large 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
See, I always sew on the edge of my foot.
Oh, and it's not on the edge on this.
It's not on the edge. So, so you know what? Let me just sew another body together.
Okay, and I'll go over the
This is
measurements
real time,
again.
people. We are solving
real time.
problems.
We're
We are
solving
really
trouble.
live.
Okay.
Okay, so for the house sides, that's the first
2 by 3.
measurements. They're 2 by 3. You need 2 of those pieces. For the door, it's 1.5 by 3. For the top of the house, it's 1.5 by 4.5. And for the roof, it's 2.5 by 4.5. And then you need two 2.5-inch squares to snowball the corners of your roof.
And obviously, your quarter-inch mat.
And the thing, and the thing that went wrong was the door.
My door is just, the quarter-inch seam is way too small.
Yep.
So, oh wait, 3. Wait.
So
3
just
by
make
1.5.
sure you sew right at that quarter-inch.
Yep. Those measurements matter.
They do.
Gloria, that was my point.
What? Don't.
She said, "How can a quarter-inch be different?"
I need a 1.5 by a 4.5.
Okay.
I'm going to sew this and let you cut a 1.5 by 4.5.
You got it.
All right. And these are 2 by 3. Now I'm
got it?
Now I'm all checking everything. I'm like, all right, here we go.
I'm not as confident with this little trimmer, but it works.
Well, here's the deal.
Wait.
Once you trim that many, you get super confident with it.
I believe it. There we go. Now it's right.
All right. Now I put my door back in again. I'm putting another wall, little lefts, stitches. Yeah, this foot is a lot wider, and I don't ever measure. I just use the edge of my presser foot. That's why I have to stay consistent on my sewing machines.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
The
right.
door is
Here, I'll
2
press that for
inches
you.
or 1.5 inches.
1.5 by 4.5.
1.5 by 4.5.
Okay.
And
No, the door is 1.5 by 3.
oh, I'm sorry. The door is 1.5 by 3.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you were talking about this top piece
All right,
that goes
all
over
right.
there.
Okay, wait. Let's
Start again.
pause. We're starting for the. Okay, forget everything.
Forget everything we've said.
We're gonna re-say every measurement.
Yes,
and
we
these
are.
are the ones you need to write down.
Okay.
Misty.
Oh,
action.
I'm on it. House sides, 2 inches by 3 inches. You need 2 of those. For the door, 1.5 by 3. For the top of the house, not the roof, just the top strip, 1.5 by 4.5. For the roof, 2.5 by 4.5, and then you need 2 2.5-inch squares to get the corners and the peak of your roof.
Okay.
And that's settled.
And that
So
is
now,
it.
now look at this. So everything matches up perfectly.
Perfectly.
Press that,
Yes.
and we're ready to put the roof on our house.
Got it.
So, and in spite of all of my errors, they go together really quick. Hop, hop, hop,
No,
hop.
don't touch it. What happened?
Just had a little heart attack right there. I don't know. Oh, probably the.
We're not having any technical difficulties today, guys.
No, none.
Smooth sailing.
Wait a minute. We got some threads in
If you
here.
ever wondered if this really was live, now you know.
Now you know.
You know.
Okay, I have to just look at my.
Do we need a new needle?
No,
It's a brand new needle.
I think it just sucked some bobbin thread in there.
Oh, shoot.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
It's a little globular in here. That's
Oh,
the
we can
needle.
take some questions. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how are you guys doing today?
How are y'all? Wait, is anybody out there getting unusual amounts of snow? Because we sure are.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
there was somebody that said it was snowy.
All right, I think we're good to go now.
Awesome.
I'm going to sew this
All right, Sandra,
across.
what was your question? I missed it. Just post it again. Hopefully I'll see it this time.
There we go.
Perfect.
They're saying slow down. We're definitely slowing down.
Huh?
They said slow down. We're talking. You're like go too fast.
Oh, I'm talking too fast? You
No,
know,
but I
that
think
is
we're
the
doing
bane
good.
of my existence. Talking too fast.
Wait, did I miss her?
Talking
Brenda,
too
it's
fast.
up there. Go up a little bit.
All right, I'm throwing that one on the ground, Misty. You're going to
Okay,
have to pick that
that's
up later.
fine. I'm totally willing.
I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it turned
Brenda,
out
listen.
darling.
We are a real family.
So
How
cute.
cute. Look how cute is this?
They're adorable.
They're so cute.
They're asking if we never fight or if we just like are the perfect family.
No, so we fight, but we fight funny. So
Yeah.
we're really loud, and we love to share our opinions. We're all opinionated, and we like to share our opinions. And we don't care if you actually do it our way. We just want to be heard.
Yeah.
We just want somebody to say, oh, I understand that.
Let me-
We can change our minds halfway through an argument.
That's true.
I mean,
Let me just give you an idea of a fight that we had.
oh, okay.
So we started, we would have like
I
water fight
will,
where
I will take you out if you say anything wrong.
somebody would spill a little cup of water on somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it turns out we started this water fight, and Mom
out.
brought the hose in.
No, that was Dad. Dad brought the hose in.
No, that
Inside
was
the
you.
house.
You had the hose.
Do you think my recollection as adult is better than yours as a 7-year-old?
Okay, probably. All I remember is Mom spraying the hose in the kitchen. Like, I was like, how is there a hose in here? Like, this is... Ugh.
Okay, then the worst part was, though, that the floor was so wet that I
fell.
slid across the floor and fell, grabbed for the counter, a glass broke, cut my arm in a couple of places, and I was so worried about my arm getting cut. I had Natalie, I was like, somebody get me a Band-Aid! And so Natalie ran and got her Band-Aids from girls' camp.
Oh no.
And I put
no.
Band-Aids across there, and I immediately got poison
Poison
ivy.
I could just, I
Was
knew
it
where
ivy
that
on
was
the
going.
bandages?
And then 2 days later, I found out that I had broken a disc and the bone in my spine that connects it to my pelvic bone. In
Her
my
back
back
was broken.
I was in bed for like 6 weeks with all these children from a water fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so words
Telling
of the
ya.
wise, don't bring the hose in the house.
Yeah, that's probably a good. That's probably good. I have to say that's probably a good.
So we're a
good call.
completely normal family.
So we're normal. We do have a lot of fun.
We're very loud. We have a lot of fun, and I'll
We
be
really
honest.
do love each other.
Yes. When Jake and I first got married, I was a little overwhelmed by how loud everyone was, but it's all out of love. All out of love.
Yeah.
So you get
All right.
used to it real quick.
I'm making another.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Keep asking questions.
Because she'll just keep sewing.
They want us to make tutorials for the block of the month. But I think that's happening soon,
Oh,
right?
there's a lot of block of the months though.
Yeah.
Like what block of the month are you talking about?
Yeah, because there's quite a few.
Anybody?
Or do they just
think
want
there's
videos for all of them? Maybe. What are you
Okay.
looking for?
I can't do this because I don't have.
Sizes and pieces
Oh, we're out of
slowly
strips.
this time.
All right.
Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the walls,
The house sides.
the house sides. So.
Oh, wait, they want to know the finished size of the house block.
Oh, I have no idea. I never measured them because I just made 100 million and put them together.
6 by 4.5. 4.5 by 6 finished.
Wow.
Well,
Mindy, yes, we're recording this to do
Unfinished.
this again. It will be on YouTube and Facebook after this is over.
yep, these videos stay. They won't go away.
All right, here's my sides of my house. Now I'm going to cut my top, which is,
So those sides were 2 inches by 3 inches.
let me
Yes.
check, 2 by 3, and then I need 1.5 by 4.5, correct?
For the top? Yes.
For the top.
1.5 by 4.5.
1.5 by 4.5.
And so those are all the same fabric.
Yeah, those are the same fabric. That's why I'm cutting them together. All right, same fabric. So the top of the house, the sides. Let's put a little door of this in there.
Cute.
1.5 by 3, right?
Yep, for the door, 1.5 by 3.
And then I'm going to sew that in here, and I'm going to sew this on top of here, and then a roof. What roof?
Oh, that
this
little
one?
flowered one.
Okay.
Yes.
So we need 2 squares. If you could press the little 2.5 inch
Got
squares. Our little house part should measure 4.5 inches wide when you get it together, because that's what size we're cutting the roof. So those should match up. So here's my, and please, if you guys have any questions, please ask. I'm ready for your questions.
I think this tutorial is going to be split up in 2 different. The first chunk, and then this one's like easy to follow. I'm feeling like, I feel like now I'm finally getting the sizes.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay, that's.
It's beautiful.
I literally create in chaos, though. You guys have to know this about me, that I do. I create in chaos. I create in messes and piles. This is what you see is what you get. I mean, it just is.
Yep.
And I was that way. I'm that way as a mother. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh well, let's do this. Oh, this sounds fun, And so.
They wanted to know about the rulers.
Oh.
Those are rule. Yeah,
So this
go
is
ahead.
my little ruler. I made 2 rulers for Missouri Star, and they are both set up for the pre-cuts. And so one is a 2.5 by 7, which means that you can also cut Like if you have a 5-inch square, you can also cut vertically. No, diagonally.
Diagonally, yep.
And then the other one is this 5x15. So these are the 2 rulers I made for Missouri Star because they really help me.
Yes, and you can get...
They really help me sewing with the pre-cuts. They're made specifically for the
We've
pre-cuts.
linked specifically to this one, I know, in the post, because this is the one
So
that we
that's
use
2.5, which is the size of most of our pre-cut strips.
Yeah.
And but I love that it's just a little, and it sits right by my sewing machine, and it's handy, and I have it just right there. All right, so now I'm going to put the other half of this roof on to make a little flying geese, which is our roof. Our roof is a flying geese. You want to line it up on your corners. And I do love these, show those little Kona things.
Oh yes, again, these are the little pre-cut 2.5-inch
So we have
mini charms.
we have our hardcore pre-cut fans. They're saying, why is it not 2.5? Why aren't the sides 2.5?
Why aren't what? Oh, well, they could be. It was just a bigger house. It makes a bigger house.
We're making
and
tiny
so,
houses.
So the reason I didn't do that is because I just wanted
Little scraps.
I wanted you to be able to use scraps, and I wanted you to be able to do a tiny house. So when you get a 2.5 house, you know, with a 1.5 door, it's going to end up being 2, 4, 5, about a 7-inch house. And I just like the idea of this little tiny
little bitty one.
house.
Wait, I know you're excited about this, so I wanted to bring this comment up. But who was it? Oh, she asked about how your Sue Daly quilt's going.
It's so pretty.
That was almost our Facebook Live today.
Almost, but we're going to do it later. We are going to do that online.
So, here, let me just
Okay. Press.
press.
I think it actually is on our
So-
Instagram.
So actually, yeah. So we shared it on my page. I shared it on my personal page, which is Jenny MSQC, and on Instagram. And so what happened when I made that was I loved making the little stars, and I started assembling it together. And you know, it's long rows, and it's all paper pieced together. And I don't have good hands anymore. My hands hurt. And I couldn't hold on to the long row. So I took it apart, and I had this whole pile of these beautiful stars. And I thought, well, I could make 20 table runners for my girls because they wouldn't be too long. I could make, you know, I started going through all the things, and I was like, wait, I can attach this to a square just like a Dresden. And so I put half of them on a white square and half of them on a gray square, and just literally centered them up and sewed them. And I sewed them in the car. They just took me a few minutes when we were traveling. And it was such a great project in the car. I hated when I ran out of them.
You bet.
But very quickly, those squares were all together.
Beautiful.
And then I'm just sewing the blocks together to make a quilt.
Wait
And
a
so
second.
Sue was really tickled because, you know, you guys don't realize this, but, you know, when we come up with a thing, we do everything our brain can do. But but sometimes somebody will say, oh, you should do it this way. And they say that a lot in the comments. They'll say to me, oh, why didn't you do it this way? And I'll think, why didn't I do it this way? Watch those comments because there are smart people out there. And, you know, designers, I love when somebody takes what I do and tweaks it. And so Sue was the same way. She's like, oh my gosh, look what Jenny's done. Because, you know, it's still, and so those little Quattro things are very cute, very fun.
Cute.
We're going to do a Facebook Live
We
on
are
it
going
eventually.
to.
And
We're just waiting to get a few more things back in stock, and then we will show
yeah,
you
we're
how
out
to
of
do
stock
it.
on those little Quattro things right now, but they'll come back.
Yep.
I just wanted to tell Hank
Here's
that
the
there
next
is
one.
no couch for sale
That
on
what?
this live.
Couch.
Hank wants to buy a couch.
Hank's trying to buy a couch.
We don't have one, but we got these little house blocks. They're so cute.
And they'll look real cute on your couch.
Yes.
All right, more questions. Any more
Any
questions?
More questions?
You guys, I'm sorry, this feels really discombobulated. I hope you got the little measurements.
Yes.
I
and
hope you got the
we
little
will
house.
put them in there in the description. So.
I hope you love my little quilt.
Yes, it's
so I
so
have
cute.
I have a curtain rod, a Walmart curtain rod that hangs at by my stairway.
Yes.
And that's the quilts. I change those quilts out by season. And so this one always hangs in the springtime.
I know. I
'Cause
went
it's
to get
so
it from your
happy.
house, and I was like, "Oh, it's not up. I guess it's winter."
Yeah. So I
when
have a winter one up there right now.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of this size, and
Yeah.
it's kind of that size of the wall, and
cute.
yeah, it just is really cute. Questions?
They wanted to know what the quilt was you were talking about, what the name of it was.
It's called Quattro
Color.
Color.
Quattro Color by
Quattro
Sue
Color
Daly.
by Sue Daly.
Also, what type of iron is that?
Oliso.
This is an
Autolift.
Oliso.
And Barbara wants to know if we're doing quilt snips again.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love
I
to
think
do
it actually
quilt
is in the
snips.
works.
It is in the works.
Oh,
We've
I'm
got
glad.
lots
Can you
of
post the
fun,
measurements on the
exciting things.
Facebook page?
Yes.
Yes. What was her personal page on Facebook?
Jenny
Oh.
MSQC.
Oh, on Facebook,
Oh.
I don't have a personal. I mean,
Don-
I have a family page on Facebook, but on Instagram,
Instagram.
it's Jenny MSQC.
That's right.
Don wants to know if you'll adopt her.
Me? Absolutely. I can love anybody.
That's right.
How long did it take to make the quilt behind you?
Well, I can't actually answer that question because I made them one at a time. But you can literally, like, if you sew all day long, I mean, it takes probably
This
I
is
don't know,
the
10
speed round.
minutes a
This is the
block.
speed round, so
We
you got to
made
answer
10 minutes a
quick.
block.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
little
accurate. We
little
made
ruler
3 in 30
size.
minutes.
What is it?
Small.
How many-
size.
2.5 by 8.
How many houses are in that quilt?
Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
How do you
144
how do you long arm quilt?
with a credit card.
All right, that's it. That wraps up our game, folks. Thanks for all the questions.
Thank you guys so
We
much
loved
for being
it.
here.
Thanks for joining
We
us.
appreciate you, and we will see you next Tuesday. Have a
Yeah,
fabulous
you guys
week.
were awesome.
see you
See ya.
later.